Oh, hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Okay, we're opening up our Year 3 champion in the Simril event. Close those down. Gold. 2, 3. No, don't do that. That's fine. Okay, so... Krull. He's so cool looking. Alright. Krull, the Turtle Cleric. Excellent. Krull is the Death Cleric of Tiamat, who swore allegiance to Archon the Cruel after being bested by him in combat. He's Archon's alchemist, his experimenter, his torturer. Always surrounded by the dead, Krull wears a white painted face mask that makes him look undead in an effort to confuse and strike fear into his opponents. Yeah, he's pretty cool looking. I don't know how I feel about his tail spikes here, but the rest of this is all pretty great. I'm a fan. Okay, close that down here. We have 45. Get him, Brenner! Yeah, lady! Braha! Alright, so we're looking at for our formation. Pretty much the same as the Grand Tour, just we got an extra body smucked into the back row there. That'll be alright. We'll basically probably build the bubble from last time with an extra champion or two. Get to do a couple of those. Okay, and so we're coming into this. Same thing. 188.88 increase, about 200% increase damage. 240% increase of gold find. And same equipment. We're all looking at mostly greens and blues, I think. A lot of whites. I think there's a purple in there somewhere. But yeah, get a couple areas through, increase our gold a little bit, get a couple specializations. Then we'll come have a chat. Turn on this auto button. Auto button. Okay. So here we find ourselves just past level 30. 2 specializations only to look at. And I tell you, it seems like in filming 3 of these in a row now, this being the 3rd. Unless you're fighting an exceptionally hard boss. There's some events that have 2 bosses, like, yeah, 2 enemies, 2 boss-like enemies in the final mission. You know, there's some that are like, one of them's a dragon that hits your whole party every time it attacks. And again, it's got that hit point base, so you have to be able to tank it out. But, I mean, if you don't have one of those crazy hard bosses, and you can get more than 3 champions, 3 good or neutral champions adjacent to Jarlaxle, your formation's basically the same. At least mine, anyways, is basically the same. You know, I tend to go based on what works as opposed to what I appreciate, I suppose. Like I like Minsk, and so it would be neat to use him, but Jarlaxle is just, especially for these last 3, he's been so much more effective than anybody else. It just is, it's counterintuitive to progression to use an inferior champion. Not to throw shade at Minsk at all. Like, I appreciate him as a character, very much so. But Jarlaxle just is so bloody effective. How do you not use him? Anyways. Back to the formation. So we'll go champion by champion. Brenner in my primary column. Again, he'll be next to the front. So we're going to go with Shield Master for the extra damage. The stacking damage. Celeste. I've got her. The only thing I am worried about with her is keeping her next to Jarlaxle and in the primary row, so she can heal my front column and buff his damage. And in regards to that, I'm going to go with War Domain for a specialization for that extra damage as well. Rats! Got him! Yeah! Eat turds! Rat bastard! Yeah! Okay, so then we're looking at Nayeli. Oh, we're coming up with... Let's get her out of here. Billions. Okay, that'll take a minute still. Okay, so Nayeli. We've got... There you go, in the front row. She will be tanking damage. She's also has a damage buff on that primary damage column. Jarlaxle, he's just hanging out. Everybody next to him is buffing his damage at this point. Whether it's through a buff that champion applies or just by being next to him through his Master of Disguise ability. Calliope, she has 0 levels to her, so she's just there. Same with Ashara. And Minsk, he's just next in line to unlock. And with that, we'll see you around level 50. Okay. So, we're sitting in level 49. I was really hoping for some more levels for folks, but doesn't look like it's happening. So, I mean, we might get to unlock Hitch here, but anyways. So, we're looking at pretty much the exact same formation as we used to unlock... Or no, pretty much. It is the exact same formation as we used to unlock Warden. Just a nice little bubble, everybody standing around Jarlaxle. Everybody's buffs applied to Jarlaxle, plus they're triggering Jarlaxle's Master of Disguise ability. So he's got a pretty significant damage bonus. Doing 43 quadrillion damage. Second place is doing 39 trillion. So about 1,000 times less damage. Something like that. Some stupid goofy number less. So Jarlaxle's probably your dude. And most of his equipment is white. What are we looking at here? Blue. Increases Master Attuner, which I don't even have yet. Didn't even bought that one yet. So, yeah. That's pretty much that. If I was going to do anything, here, let's, Nayeli, we're going to go bonus damage. Calliope again, bonus damage. Ashara, let's pick humans. And just be hypothetical. If I was going to do that, I would probably end up with Celeste in the middle, because then she'll buff everybody's damage. And Minsk will go on the bottom. Minsk doesn't have any abilities that trigger based on proximity to other champions, so it doesn't really matter where in that row he goes. Celeste I would put in the middle, really just for giggles. The only person who needs that damage bonus is Minsk. So, like, over here, Celeste though, 30%. I mean, that ratio will shift from the 30 to 60. It'll shift, and we'll lean more towards Minsk. Anyways, it's nuts to, like, the Jarlaxle is that much better. Even just to do that, he goes from 5% to 91%. Celeste goes from 30 to 7. Craziness. So if I was going to go human, I would do something like this. Maybe switch back like that. I mean, it doesn't really matter where anybody else goes. You know, and then Hitch, I would just keep the other champions as far back as I could until I had to push Nayeli forward. Then you could go with something like that. Throw Calliope in there. So again, you've got Calliope and Nayeli sandwiching your primary damage row. Brenner and that champion, your damaging champion, need to be together in that row. They are the meat of the formation, and everybody else just sort of floats around them. So Celeste, you're going to want to have adjacent to to Minsk in this situation. Preferably both of them, but realistically, it doesn't matter a lot. Like, Brunner's getting 2% of the damage here. Like, Jarlaxle's still doing more, and he's not even in the same row. So, you know, or if you're doing, yeah, there you go, something like that. You're going humans. The more humans you get, the more damage bonus Ashara will get. So you could have her. She does damage to multiple champions. That's always a good time. Or multiple enemies, sorry. I mean, you can play around with it a whole bunch, but what seems to be a decent formation for me, it keeps you with a couple of damage and champions, or at least one primary one. It maintains you having a tank, healing, and temporary health for your whole front row. And you can kind of play around with it a little bit, right? You can pick your specialization for Ashara to use different champions. I find Jarlaxle always gets you the farthest until you get a little bit more flexibility in your party from unlocking different champions, and you get a bit more gold find to level up the higher tier champions. But anyways, now I'm just rambling at you to really no effect. All stuff I will cover in later videos. This is how we did it for this one again. 2, 3, and 2. Your center row is your primary damage row. Everybody buffs that dude standing in the middle. Jarlaxle, again, primary gold find, primary damager. MVP extraordinaire. So with that, I'm going to let this run up as far as I can do. And we will start a new round of videos tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.